days when the world was horrified at the Holocaust? Do you remember the days when we used to shout and scream, never again? Because we couldn't even imagine that a world that had witnessed the Holocaust, a world that had perpetrated a Holocaust against the Jews, would ever victimize the Jews ever again. Oh no, now we were accepted amongst the nations. Now we have a seat at the United Nations. Now we are one of them. It's tragic to see the events that are unfolding before our very eyes, events that we still do not know the result of. Israel's assassination of Muhammad Sinwar, may his name be blotted out and erased, the de facto leader of Hamas inside of Gaza. Look at how the world reacted in the words of Ben Shapiro.
In other news from the Middle East, yesterday it appeared that Israel killed Yahya Sinwar's brother. Sinwar, of course, was the leader of Hamas. After Israel assassinated Yahya Sinwar, they apparently took out Mohammed Sinwar, who is the new leader of Hamas. It was all running in the family. According to the Wall Street Journal, they launched a strike. It hit an underground site near a European hospital. It's called European Hospital in Khan Yunis, because this is where terrorists hide. This, again, is why it is so absurd for the French government to yell at the Israelis about, oh my God, you're attacking your civilians. They're not civilian sites when you use them as terror bases. If you use a hospital as a terror base, it is now a terror base, not a hospital. This is why Mohammed Sinwar hid there. Again, the unspoken acknowledgement, by the way, that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, are actually targeted and immoral lies in the fact that the Palestinians are constantly hiding beneath civilian sites. You know who doesn't care about hiding beneath civilian sites? Terrorists in Chechnya. You know why? Because they know that Vladimir Putin is just going to blow away their families, everybody around them. They don't care. If Vladimir Putin does not care. So if terrorists in Chechnya hide behind their kids, Putin just blows away the kids. The reason that terrorists in Gaza hide behind children is because they know that Israel is reluctant to kill children. They know that Israel is reluctant to hit so-called civilian sites. That is the specific reason they do it. Acknowledging the innate morality of the IDF is the key to understanding why Hamas is hiding in these places, obviously. So footage is available of the strike. It could take days for Israel to determine whether the strike was successful in killing Sinwar. But it's very likely that Sinwar is dead. They blew a crater in the middle of the street. They targeted the tunnel. This could lead, presumably, to a broader conversation, because if you've defenestrated the entire leadership of Hamas, then basically there's no chance that Hamas is going to lead the Gaza Strip. So hopefully this leads to a faster off-ramp, including the complete destruction of Hamas in the Gaza Strip.
What a fascinating contrast that Ben Shapiro brings up between Putin and Bibi Netanyahu. That Putin has no problem going after civilians, as we see what goes on in Ukraine. Yet Bibi Netanyahu is the Israeli government, the Israeli army is so incredibly careful not to attack civilians, despite the world's insistence and prayers that Israel would be so cruel. The Talmud actually tells us that the mark of a Jew, there are three defining characteristics of a Jew: Rachbanim, Baishanim, and Goyim Lei Chasadim, which means that they are merciful. Jews are humble and they're kind. So they're merciful, humble, and kind. And the Talmud goes so far as to say that if you encounter someone who claims to be a Jew and is lacking in one of these three, let's say he is self-promoting, he's a narcissist, or he is cruel, or maybe he's unkind, then you actually are allowed to doubt his Jewish identity. It's very, very interesting that this is something which is the mark of the Jew. Now, it wasn't only the Talmud that identifies this as a mark of the Jews. It was our worst enemies that understood the deep sensitivities, the human sensitivities of a Jew. And in fact, it was Adolf Hitler, may his name be blotted out and erased, who said that the Jews were the ones who brought upon the world the curse of conscience. When you study the writings of Hitler, you understand, when you read Mein Kampf, you understand that why he was after the Jews, men, women, and even infants, is because he understood that embedded into our DNA was a kindness, a compassion that he felt was inconsistent with self-preservation. Hitler believed that human beings are like animals, and therefore it's the survival of the fittest. Nice guys finish last. And if the Jews are nice, then there's no space for them. They're going to drag down all the rest of society with them. And therefore, he felt that the Jews need to be some sort of a root canal, to be removed from society, God forbid, in order to allow the rest of the Aryan race to thrive. Sadly, Hamas today has also understood this same truth, and it's no surprise. They read Mein Kampf in Gaza. IDF soldiers have found Mein Kampf in Arabic inside of Gaza, and they've understood how to weaponize compassion. How cynical, how tragic, to weaponize compassion while Israeli soldiers are hiding women and children behind them. Hamas soldiers are hiding behind women and children, while Hamas soldiers are fighting in order to protect their weapons. They use their weapons in order to protect them. The Israeli soldiers are using themselves in order to protect their assets and their resources. We pray for the time, very, very soon, with the coming of Mashiach, when the world will rise to higher consciousness, when the world will rise to an awareness how every single human being is created in the image of God. It is the role of the Jewish people to be the chosen people, a light unto the nations, to be able to inspire all of humanity to realize that every single person has value, every single person has worth, every single person is the divine image. You don't need to push someone else down in order to lift yourself up. You don't need to hurt someone else in order to make yourself feel better. And when the world is able to come to that awareness, to that consciousness, it's then that we will no longer have to hurt someone else. We won't have to attack the Jews, whether it's physically through Hamas, or whether it's diplomatically or socially through the college campuses and through the media and other forms. Rather, we will all be able to find the strength to know that God has chosen every single one of us. We all serve a purpose, and together we can make this world a truly beautiful place.